Hey guys, what's going on? This is Trey again from Whirlwind Games here with Zach Oder. He won our Back to Duel event. We did a Pegasus challenge here, and Zach, what'd you play?
Speedroid's best deck.
Speedroids, all right. Let's check it out.
Yeah, we'll do the main deck first. So, one copy of Terratop because, you know, other people can use it. Great for rank 3 engines, so unfortunate, but the best card in the deck. Second best card in the deck, Marble Machine. It's basically what Terratop should have had before, which is the restriction to wins. But he's good. He's a good normal summon. We do have a better normal summon though with the Ultra Hound. So this one lets you send a Speedroid card from the deck. So that can be the Trap, that can be Duke, depending on the hand. You can even send the Terratop off of the Ultra Hound if you got like the Speed Recovery in hand. Just get free advantage off of that. It's really good. Then we got 3 copies of Takaton board. 3 copies attack because in this deck it's actually not the brick. So we can special summon this, we control Wind Monster, tribute itself for cost, special summon a Roy Tutor from the deck. A lot of times you are grabbing either the Duke, the Red Eye Die, or the Piper if you need like that extra dig for your side deck cards or anything like that. Then we also play 3 copies of Car Turbo. Car Turbo because it's just a free body. You control Wind Monster. You also has a cute little graveyard effect that helps with OTKs, where you banish it and like another Speedroid from the graveyard to boost all Wind Monsters you currently control by 800 till the end of the turn. So it's really neat. That does it for this. Let's clean this up a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. It's a little messy. We're getting 2 copies of Duke. A lot of people in the community would agree that 2 copies of Duke is perfectly fine. Don't play 1. You can play 3 if you want to. 2 is correct, because you do want that in the deck most of the time. But with cards like the new stuff we're getting, like Scratch, the Wheel, and stuff like that, it's not okay. It's not terrible to draw it. So you could play it at 3. 1 copy of Rubber Band Plane. You could make this as a Hasty Horse if you want just a free body, but it performed really well this evening. So whatever a monster special summon to your side of the field, you can special summon this, even with like if you get Nibiru'd. So they Nibiru you, this token special summons to your side of the field, and if you got this in hand, you can still just slap it down. And then reduce the Nibiru by like 600. Didn't come up, but I mean, interesting little card. Played the 1 copy Red Eye Die. Did miss the second one this evening. Lets you modulate things, get into the Cork Shooter, make your Hagoida, your Chambara easily. It's just probably one of the better tuners in the deck aside from Duke. And Duke's only good because of what it can summon out. So 1 copy of Double Yo-Yo because it's a combo piece. Normal summon lets you target a level 3 or lower, special summon it back from the deck. Really good. And you can bring this back to your hand with like Speed Recovery on the following turn. That way you have that extra normal summon. Bring this back, and then make your Chambara an OTK, if possible. And then I did play the 1 Piper. There was a lot of times where I made the Auroradon, and with the Baron, the Auroradon tokens, the Auroradon, special attack, bring out the Piper, and excavate 5 cards, search into whatever I need, add a hand trap, or duplicate, whatever I really needed. And it was phenomenal. Graveyard effect didn't really come up this evening, but going forward, I think 1's good. If you're playing the Auroradon stuff, which I really do recommend you do that. But yeah, that's
Gotcha.
I think that's it for the main deck Speedroid names.
So is there anything with part of the Speedroid part of the deck that you would change moving forward? I noticed a bunch of one-ofs. Kind of just talk me through your deck building process.
Yeah,
through that.
A couple different builds I've done. I've had 1 Hound, where arguably Hound is a better normal summon than the Marble Machine. Just because with the Marble Machine you have to burn through one of your attacks, your Car Turbos. You have to burn through one of your extenders that could do something else for you, you know what I mean?
Right.
So but with the Hound, you can send the trap card effect, target it, reduce its level, bring it back, make your Rubber Band shooter without having to burn any extra cards in hand.
All right, awesome. Yeah.
Other than that, I think ratios are perfect for me right now. It's a hard deck to play. It's going to change a little bit, but I think it's getting close.
I mean, you just went Xona Pegasus challenge, so
I mean,
I guess it's working pretty good.
Hey. Being able to rip the Dark Ruler No More out of someone's hand, and then a PK player having their whole fucking graveyard banished, mint. It's mint. Shoutouts, Trey. All right, so we have 3 copies of Wind Channeler. Don't know what this does. It's basically like a Rhoda type of thing or a discard outlet. So you discard her and another Wind monster from your hand. Search the deck, add one that has 1500 or less defense, except for herself, I believe. Then she has an in-hand effect if you take battle damage. Honestly, really good, easy way to get into Terror Top. And with everything else, especially once we get the copies of Scratch out of Vows of Legend or Brothers of Legend, I mean, we're essentially going to be playing 7 copies of Terror Top. So, it's pretty nice. Onto hand traps. Went for the 3 Ash just because it's generic, hits everything.
It's not Feet Ash, though. That's pretty good.
It's not the Feet Ash. They are mixed. There's a Super and 2 Ultras, though. Don't hate me, Trey. And they're not secrets. And that's really about it for that. We played 3 Speed Recovery. Non-searchable, sadly, but special summon any Speedroid from the graveyard, and then on the turn after it was sent to graveyard, you can banish it, and then add a Speedroid name back from the deck to your hand. So you can recycle your extra deck shit, you can recycle really anything. Grab the double yo-yo is usually the play, or grabbing the top, or the Takatombo, just whatever you need. And then our other 3 Speedroid cards is the wheel. Basically, E-Telly for 2, best case scenario. A lot of people will play the second Red-Eye Die, from what I've seen, just so you have a 5 out of 6 chance of getting 2 monsters on board. But it was alright. I only resolved this like twice all evening. It wasn't terrible. Really good card. And just being able to get 2 bodies on board for free, set up your tuners in grave, like the Duke, and just make your rubber band shooter, and then just do plays. It's just crazy.
So would you maybe consider cutting this down to 2 since you didn't see as much tonight?
I've tried it at 2 because before there were a lot of instances where I would draw 2 of these, and it's like, okay, whatever. But whenever you draw into it, after you've already resolved it once, and you've gotten your level 1 tuners out of the deck, it's just a way to burn yourself, and it's just not worth it. But let's get Scratch. It does have a Speedroid name, so we can just discard that with that, search whatever we need. We did play 3 copies of Chalice just because it felt like the best thing. Winda hurts the deck, things like that. Floodgate monsters, Appaloosa. I mean, we can play through maybe like 2 to 3 interruptions with a really good hand. But other than that, that's really about it. Didn't play the Dark Ruler in the main.
So what's kind of your thought process between Forbidden Chalice and Dark Ruler in the main?
Where it's an OTK deck, I feel like it's better just to be able to push. If I had the droplets, those would be droplets easily. But
yeah, I'm pretty sure everybody playing this format saying playing chalices they can be droplets. So
yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's the big thing. If you have the droplets, play the droplets. But if you have droplets, you're not playing Speedroids. I'm gonna be honest. And then the last spell is the Call by the Grave.
Okay.
Then we played 2 copies Speedroid Duplicate. Basically, you banish a win from your graveyard. You can compulse a card back to your opponent's hand. Really good. And then the graveyard effect lets you target a level 2 or higher win monster. And then special summon this as a tuner, reducing that monster's level by 1. And then last card is 3 Imperm.
Imperm. Kind of becoming a staple in the main deck nowadays.
Dude, it's the best card in the best hand trap in the game right now. Unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Getting on to the extra deck, played the 1 Baron. Rest in peace, Wallet. 1 Shin Shin. Beautiful Floodgate Synchro that we can play on the deck. Absolutely love it. The 1 Kite Drake. Don't know what this does. This can negate all cards that are currently face up on your opponent's field whenever it's synchro summoned, or it can destroy every other card on the field. And if they Solemn Judgment this, Solemn Strike it, whatever, or if it gets into the field, to the graveyard from in any way, you gotta search for a Speedroid name. So you're usually grabbing the top in most cases, or you're grabbing just something to help you progress the play. It's good bait, especially going second if you can get into it. We played 1 copy of Crystal Wing, only 1. Needed to make room for some other things that just felt better, and honestly, it performed well. I didn't miss the second one this evening. 1 copy of Clearwing Fast Dragon. Just another name. It's a level 7 we can go into. It has a neat little effect with so during either player's turn, so quick effect, you can target a monster that was special summoned from the extra deck that your opponent controls, negate its effects, make its attack 0. So, I mean, worst case scenario, it's a way to climb up into the Baron, because you can make this really easily. Like if you get the double yo-yo, for example. You do this, and then you have to bring back the Duke. You make this, and then if you got like another, like a car turbo in hand or something like that, you can always special summon that. This will go back to the extra deck, and then you can still banish it off of the Link monster that we'll get to here in a little bit. Wind Pegasus, this was my 7 that I was always banishing off the rubber band shooter, just because usually I was ending on the Shin Shin, and Shin Shin can just put this back in the grave for me. And then if any monster would leave the field, or any card, I think, it lets me banish this card from my graveyard and then bounce something.
That's a pretty neat graveyard effect too. I noticed that there's always a bunch of like Dogmatica players kind of test this card out, especially when in the graveyard.
Yeah.
Just really good it's kind of something pretty cool to have in your extra deck.
Honestly, yeah.
Especially for like disruption and stuff like that.
Absolutely, yeah. I don't think I ever made it today, but I mean, it was always getting put back into the grave. So
when does everybody ever make it? That's a real question.
Yeah, dude, for real. Got our 6s, got a Charge Warrior, generic draw, plus you can attack all special monsters. 1 Raptite, decide on this over the Virtual World Juju. Didn't come up, really should have put it up against the DPE, but again, Pegasus rules just bent them over and kind of handed the game to me, not gonna lie. Clean this up just a hair.
Yeah, go ahead.
Our level 5, Segoida, probably the best synchro in the extra deck. This just lets us get into basically everything else, and it's just a free reoccurring body every turn. And also has a neat little effect, especially if you got like an Xyz deck, like the Leerless stuff. You can tribute this off the field to increase the level of all monsters in the field by 1. So if they use their barrel to lock themselves into Xyz, they have 2 level 2s on the board that they don't have an Xyz for. And we play the 1 Chambara. A lot of people play this in other decks that weren't Speedroids back in the day. Just a good OTK machine that can attack twice and also increase its attack by 200 every time it declares an attack or if it's in battle. So if they even attack into it, it's going to get the extra 200, which is nice. Also, the recursion from it leaving the field, adding back a Speedroid that's banished. There's a lot of instances where you can go car turbo, banish the double yo-yo, attack with this, and then if you got like a level 3 extender on board, you can put 1 on board, you can go into your Crystal Wing, and then this effect will trigger, adding back the double yo-yo for the follow-up.
Nice.
Yeah. It's cute. Did play 2 copies of the new one, Cork Shooter. So this works as a spell and trap searcher, but if all the materials are still engraved, you can basically soul charge both of them back for free. You're bringing back a level 3 or 4 Speedroid name of the Sonata Tuner, and you're also bringing back the Red Eye Die, and then you're able to even target the Cork Shooter itself, change its level, and if you got like the Yo-Yo, you can go directly into Goida, but those 2, by changing this to a 5, and then go into the Baron's Way. And then like Duke and Grave, bring this back, bring out the Goida from Grave.
Yeah, anything that can like soul charge for free and pretty much give you a free Baron is usually pretty good, right?
Oh, absolutely. Dude, it's so good.
It's minty.
It's minty as can be. Also, the reason I played 2, I'm going to bring this up. The reason I played 2 was because Ultra Hound and Grave, you can banish it and then shuffle back like a Takatomborg or something that's dead in Grave, it's a level 3, and you can special summon this out of the extra deck for free.
Nice.
Which gives you a free body and then everything else. So that's why you need to play 2. You can get away with playing with 1, but 2's just so nice. And then we're going to get into the 2 copies of Link Monster. Dude, this wasn't any other archetype. That'd be probably the best Link Monster. I'm surprised it's like... So during the main phase, immediately after this effect resolves, you can normal summon again, but you're locked into synchros for the rest of the turn. But it also has another effect where you can banish a synchro from your extra deck. So you banish a 7. You can reveal 2 Speedroids from your deck whose level combined equal the level of the synchro that you banish off of its effect. So then you can reveal the double yo-yo and the Terratop, and then one of those will randomly get added to your hand, but either way you're getting access to Terratop to get into Takatomborg, and then get into the Red Eye Die, go into the Cork Shooter. I mean, it all just works together like really nice. I mean, it's a powerful card, absolutely powerful. And if it gets imperm, we're playing the second one, mainly due to the, if we got an extender like the Rubber Band plane or anything like that, it's just 2 wind monsters, we can always just make it again. And still use the other effect if we need it. And then the MVP that I loved this evening, the Roared On. Making those free tokens making those free tokens, and then using the Takaton board to special summon out the Piper, to then give me potentially an Excavate for 4 to 5 cards, and then being able to use 2 of the tokens for a Baron, if I haven't had access to Baron yet, and then having those other level 3s that I can easily make the Shin with.
For sure, that's awesome. So going over the extra deck here, is there anything that you would change? Anything that you would like consider testing out, or like what's your kind of your thought process with that?
I'm probably going to still continue to try out the Raptite, just because it really didn't come up this evening, but it's an interesting thing that can take care of like the Phoenix Enforcer. But yeah, that's what I did.
Awesome.
I think it's pretty set and solid. I got the list off of the dude in the Speedroid Discord. Shoutouts Aerosol TCG. Fucking great content. Like watching some of his replays and just how he maneuvered the deck really kind of just helped me understand like what I was doing wrong before. I mean, I'm not saying that like today was like amazing because of the Pegasus challenge, but I definitely understand the deck a lot better and how to pilot this type of build. And I really do appreciate people in him and like the other people who do love the deck enough to actually spend the time and make content on it.
That's awesome.
Yep. But anyway, let's go through the side deck. It kind of came up, kind of didn't. We got 3 Nib because blowout card, 3 Drill because blowout card.
Blowout card for a blowout format, am I right?
Absolutely. Like you either have to play the high impact hand traps or you're just going to get steamrolled. Some back row hate for the Cosmic Cyclones, gets rid of the Scythe. I can get rid of Mystic Mind, get rid of Io if we need to. Feather Duster just because 15th slot. Then I played 3 copies of Evenly Matched. Funny enough, against the Phantom Knight player, shoutouts Trey. Woo! Drew for it for turn. He used the Phoenix Enforcer to pop the Scythe, so I was Scythe blocked for the turn. So I just went battle phase, into battle phase, evenly matched, and I think, what'd you leave on the field?
Oh man, I think I left Rust. I think I just left Rusty on the field.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably the best thing you could have done. You had a body coming back. But yeah, that's really good card. I mean, again, same concept as the rest of them. You want to play high impact stuff that are blowouts because it's just that format right now. And then to wrap it up, 1 Red Reboot because we hate trap decks, and 1 Imperial Order because we also hate Sky Striker and spell cards that aren't speed order related.
Awesome. So I know you kind of said the side deck didn't really come up. Is there anything in the side deck that you think would probably be better to play hand trap wise, or just kind of spell trap removal wise, or just anything that can just stun your opponent?
It's so hard to make a decision. Like I went back and forth between the Drolls and the Dimensional Barrier because it really does hinder like Sword Soul and everything else like that. Because that's what I'm mostly afraid of. I feel like Droll was overall the better choice, and it didn't come up this evening. But I don't know. I've been back and forth between running the Cosmic Cyclones or running the Twin Twisters.
Okay.
But
I do think Cosmic's probably the correct one in this format, just because
it can get rid of
because Dagged is a thing now and Size is a thing. I do believe that's pretty good. That's correct, and
especially with that
as well. So just going through the deck, what was the MVP today? What was the MVP card? What was that card that kind of you just thought was just overplayed for you all day?
Auroradon and Piper.
Nice. Awesome.
And Baron.
Devler. Awesome. Any shout outs you want to give like that before we end the video here?
Shout outs Drew, because he gonna be mad. That's just kidding. Love you, Drew. I don't know if you'll see it or not.
All right. Well,
yep.
That's it. All right. Thanks, man.
Thanks so much.
And thank you guys for watching.